My first memories of playing ball with him is just being in the backyard, tossing the ball, letting him jump up. I mean, he was a little kid. He might have been, 2, 3 years old.
I felt like I was like a little more advanced than like most little kids, like when it came to sports, so it just came naturally.
We were at a pool one summer. This lady came up to me and she said, ma'am, she was like, this is a really dumb question. She said, but does your son lift weights? And I said, no, he's just built that way. He had muscles at the age of 2.
I think actually football was something that was inside of him from the day he was born. He was a basketball player. From the time he was a couple years old, he started playing organized basketball. His sister played basketball.
Irvy would come to the practices and he would shoot around. And it was a 10-foot basket, and he was 2 years old, 3 years old, and he was making the baskets on a 10-foot goal. So at that point, I knew, this kid, he's gifted.
Yeah, I'd say my first love was basketball because that's what I first started playing. And then I always loved football, but I never really got to play it like how I wanted to. So then when I finally got to play, I just let it all out.
When he started playing organized football in the 8th grade, I just saw something change in him. He just walked different, talked different, and I could see that he was a football player with something that was inside of him from day one.
Our philosophy is this: we want our student athletes playing as many sports as possible. That's big for us. It's funny watching him is that he's a really good basketball player, but you could tell he was a football player on the basketball court. We were really excited. Obviously, he had such a big stature, and he was also very athletic. So within our offense, our tight end is really, really important. And obviously, he had the pedigree we knew, from his dad's background. And we were just excited about the things that he could do. We knew he could run block. We knew he was a dynamic receiver. So we knew that the next 3 years we were going to be very blessed to have a person or a player like him.
I told him years ago when he wanted to be a wide receiver, when he was growing up, I kept telling him, I said, Irv, you're going to be too big to be a receiver. And I would always say to him, you can either be a slow wide receiver or a fast tight end. And eventually he realized that it was better to be a fast tight end.
Yeah, I felt like it's definitely genetics. Like, I always wanted to play receiver, but then like once I got bigger and like really bought in and like learned the tight end position, I loved it. And I just embraced it.
My offensive line coach, Coach Zarang, and I always talk about this. What was great about Irv was that he was a tremendous practice player. At practice, he never took a play off. I mean, he was 100% at practice, everything he did. And so when you combine all those factors, the fact of him being tremendously athletic, him having a great, pedigree, a great savvy or knowledge of the game, and then his work ethic and his love for practice, those are the type of people, that make, that become successful and become the best in their trade.
I definitely learned a lot of things. We have so many great athletes and so many great players, like, especially on offense, we were scoring, we averaged like at least 45 points a game. I mean, we was hot, everybody was scoring touchdowns, scoring points, and we was winning, so it was a lot of fun. Well, I was hurt my sophomore year, I got hurt, I broke my leg, and then my junior year, I had a really good season, and I didn't get any offers till like the season was over with during basketball season. And after that, it just blew up. Like every big school, I had like over 40 offers, so it was just crazy how that worked out.
I wanted him to have an opportunity that I had to go to a major college and to play a major college sport.
When I went to Alabama and visited them and just seeing like how the program was ran and just how I could see myself there, it was a no-brainer.
Choosing Alabama and that being the right decision for you and your family?
Well, I mean, just Coach Saban in general. I mean, he's a great coach. He's gonna get his players right and and do everything he can to win a championship.
Coach Saban and that program speaks for itself. He came down here, visited with us, visited with Irv's family. From the very beginning, Coach Saban laid out the expectations of his program and kind of laid out their plans with Irv.
Alabama just stayed on him, and Coach Burns, who was the coach that recruited him.
Coach Burns and Coach Williams actually came to my job and said, we really love your son. I just fell in love with him. I just felt so comfortable with my son going there.
So once we took the recruiting visit there, Irv's mom and myself, we both looked at each other and said, we'd be crazy if we didn't encourage our son to go here.
And then after that, it was a no-brainer. Me and my family loved it.